Anybody even think Trey Lance will be on the roster at that point in the season?
Well, to that texter's point, I don't know if you can pencil in any of these guys from start to finish. Like, who's the one guy that started from start to finish for Kyle Shanahan as the quarterback? Jimmy Garoppolo back in 2019? Right?
Yeah.
Is that about it?
That's about it.
Like, I can't pencil even Brock Purdy if he does start week 1, and all indications are that he will. Are you expecting him to start week 1 all the way through week 17? I'm not. So that's why the quarterback competition is so important. That number 2, they will get an opportunity, whether that's Sam Darnold or Trey Lance. They're going to have an opportunity to show, hey, this is why you drafted me. Hey, this is why I signed here. And if they show out in one of those 2 games, Bonte, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, there's going to be a controversy because you gave up a lot to get Trey Lance. If it is that guy and he gets his opportunity to shine and he doesn't look back, what was the phrase that Jim Harbaugh used? Hot hand. Remember
hot
that?
Hand.
Colin
We're going with the hot hand.
with the hot hand. That's Colin Kaepernick.
I feel like
Alex
Shanahan
Smith.
would do that too.
Yep.
Shanahan would go with the hot hand.
Yes. It was
He
a
would.
perfect way to say it too, and it kind of deflected all like the negative attention, like because Alex Smith was playing well, obviously got concussed. You don't want to see him lose his job to injury, but that happens, and we're going to go with the hot hand, the young guy that we drafted to be the future. That's who they thought Trey Lance was going to be. So we'll see going forward if Brock Purdy does indeed start all of these games or if there's opportunities.
Well, Rob Ninkovich, formerly of ESPN, 2-time Super Bowl winning linebacker with the Patriots, Rob Ninkovich said this about the Niners being a threat to the Eagles if Brock Purdy's healthy.
I do believe that they would be one of the biggest threats, if not the biggest threat, depending on the health at the quarterback position. And that we see that every single year. A team that is really good with a great defense have one little hiccup and they lose somebody that's a key piece, and that really affects them. So I think if Brock Purdy can stay healthy, and listen, an elbow surgery is such a fickle part, especially at the quarterback position. It only takes one little tweak to where he's like, man, I'm sore this week. I can't do what I want to do out here. So hopefully, and that's for the 49ers' sake, he stays perfectly fine and goes through this training camp process where I guarantee he's on a pitch count. They're going to make sure he doesn't throw the ball too many times and gets to the season and is ready to go because you still have another month and a half before they play a meaningful game. So yes, with a healthy 49ers roster and a Brock Purdy that can be at the helm healthy for 17 weeks, I do believe that they would be the team that would give the Eagles a run for their money.
So that's Rob Ninkovich, and we'll have him on at 7:15 or 7:20 to discuss what he sees in the 49ers and Brock Purdy and elaborate on those thoughts there. So Mike Sandel's quarterback tiers just got released from The
those
Athletic.
are always fun.
TheAthletic.com. Mike Sandoz does a great job. Covered the NFC West for years. You want to guess where he has Brock Purdy in his quarterback tiers?
So he usually does like the bona fide, like franchise builders, right? That's the number 1 tier. That's going to be your Mahomeses, your Burrows, your Josh Allens. He probably has Herbert in there, maybe. Then you have your second tier guys. They're almost franchise builders, but there's some question marks. Maybe tier 2s. You got your Kyler Murrays, maybe. You got your Kirk Cousins. Sure, yeah, you got Kirk Cousins in there. I'm going to go tier 3, Bonte.
For Brock Purdy?
For Brock Purdy. I think he's going to be along the lines of a Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo.
So the caption for tier 4 is tier 4 quarterback could be an unproven player, not enough information for voters to classify, or a veteran who ideally would not start all 17 games. Mike Sando has Brock Purdy as a 4th tier quarterback.
Interesting.
The 24th best quarterback in the NFL. Now, Mike Sando writes in his profile, many promising players have debuted in Tier 4, including Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. The reason was simple. Voters hadn't seen enough to make a fuller evaluation. Purdy fell right on the border between 3 and 4 with an average tier vote that could have qualified him for Tier 3, but the majority of voters placed him in Tier 4. Made 5 regular season starts last season, won playoff starts against Seattle and Dallas, and was injured in an NFC title game. One offensive coach said, when I looked at him, I thought he was a 4. But when you watch the kid play, he's an absolute gamer. He has the intangibles, the moxie, the want to, the leadership. Purdy was an ideal situation. Elite play caller, elite defense, and played well enough to draw 23 Tier 3 votes and a single vote in Tier 2. Here's another coach. You put them on any other team, and they lose more than half the games.
Yeah.
They got the
tough.
best rushing offense. They got the top defense. He doesn't make mistakes, and he makes some plays with his legs. He gets the ball out. Good for him. That's from an offensive coach. So he believes that if you put Brock Purdy on another team, that team is not finishing 500.
There is something to be said about all the success that Kyle Shanahan has had with Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Who a lot of people don't think is a very great player, I should say. He's good, but you just see all the success he's had with him. Pick and choose some spots that Trey Lance here and there he's won. You go back to his offensive coaching days. Hell, he had Johnny Manziel for a little bit, won with him. You go back to Matt Ryan turning him into MVP. So they feel like you can plug and play in this particular system. That's not a knock totally on Brock Purdy. You still have to show out because we saw a lot with Brock Purdy we did not see with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right, we did.
We saw a lot going.
I mean, electricity, extending plays.
Not getting rattled.
Not getting rattled at all. Not taking sacks. Getting up from big hits. Playing through injuries, which he gets a lot of credit for. But the right surrounding. So with that said, this offensive coach said you put them on any other team, they lose more than half the games. 888-957-9570. Do you believe that about Brock Purdy? You put him on any other team, and they lose more than half the games. This offensive coach said they got the best rushing offense, best defense, doesn't make mistakes, and he makes plays with his legs, gets the ball out quick, good for him. So with that said, if you enter the Trey Lance, could you have the same success as Brock Purdy in his offense? If you implemented Sam Darnold into this offense, could you have the same success? Is it more so about the talent around these quarterbacks, or can the quarterbacks elevate this offense? I do think at times Brock Purdy elevated that Niners offense to another level.
He did. There were some plays he made last year. That back corner one that he had to Ayuk in the end zone, that was just he had some wow factors. But having said that, in that 8-game sample size, Jimmy Garoppolo had some wow factors too, did he not?
He did.
5 games. Remember that 5-game winning streak?
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Bonte, you remember? He was like,
I remember the Jacksonville game.
Get your ass in line. Remember, what was it?
The Chicago game. Get your the tweet. Yeah. We crazy over the pre-snap stuff.
You loved that.
Get over here. Hurry up.
You love that.
I did love that. Then he threw a dive. And I'll never forget Philly Zoo, my guy Philly Zoo, who drives me absolutely crazy. He was with me Saturday going up to Big Dog's house. Remember, he texted me that day during that game. He goes, "You guys got yourself a franchise quarterback." I was at the Raider game that day, covering the Raiders.
Yeah, like you just thought that was going to be the guy until he wasn't, right? Until he got hurt and everything changed. So to your point, yes, there is a lot of offensive talent with this system. But ultimately, it comes down to the quarterback. You can have as much talent as you want and still fade. Shout out the dream team and the Eagles, right? There's so many different things that have to factor in for this team to win a Super Bowl. And quarterback is a major one. You can't just plug and play. The thing that always comes back to me is, and listen, I'm going to get a lot of flack for it. I've got a lot of flack on the show. I go back to Kirk Cousins and being a good fit for this team because I know what I'm getting day in and day out, and I know he's going to be there from start to finish, and he's going to be above average offensively. And I think that's all you need is consistency with above average play to win a Super Bowl with this Kyle Shanahan offense. That's truly what I believe with this defense coupled, because the defense is a huge part too. Don't want to look past that. They can't just win solely on offense. It's not going to happen because you're going to be playing some damn good teams, whether you get to the Super Bowl, whether it's against Burrow, whether it's against Josh Allen or Mahomes. You're not going to be at the quarterback advantage if you get there. But it's what everything else around you is better. The McCaffreys, the Kittles, the Deebo Samuels, the Brandon Ayuks. That's what's going to put the team over the top.
Yeah, no doubt. And I see Spider Rico. The dumbest comparison is Jimmy 2017 to Brock last year with 2 playoff wins. Go look at Jimmy's TDs and interceptions to Brock's. Not close. I agree with that. But Jimmy wasn't throwing to Christian McCaffrey.
No.
He's throwing. George Kittle wasn't the George Kittle.
Lewis Murphy? Was that the guy?
Lewis Murphy, Trent Taylor, Kendrick Bourne. I mean,
and it was the wow factor more than anything.
Marquise Goodwin. So the numbers are not going to be the same, no doubt about it, because you're playing with the George Kittle, who's on another level. You're playing with Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and Christian McCaffrey. So the surroundings around you, I think the offensive line was better. Shanahan was better as a play caller. That team was not good in 2017 at all. Well, and Jimmy at least came in, and I'm not saying he's, what Brock Purdy did last season was definitely more impressive than what Jimmy did in 2017. Yes. But there's context matters. And Jimmy didn't have a lot of dudes. I can't even name his running back from that season.
No, I can't either. And maybe was it the Ohio State running back? Carlos Hyde. There you go. But it's the wow factor. Like, he was making plays that you hadn't seen from a 49er quarterback since Colin Kaepernick. There was a bunch of bad quarterback play in between. So that's all the comparison I was making there. I'm not saying he had a better year than what Brock Purdy did last year. Not even close. But he had a good enough season, Jimmy Garoppolo, it is, for Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch to make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. He had a good enough stretch there, didn't he?
All right, yep. So Rob Ninkovich is going to postpone it. It's moving till tomorrow at 7:30. He skipped out on us.
Oh,
tomorrow
Rob,
7:30. Nico 7:30. So
That's all right. We'll have him tomorrow. He'll break it all down.
Since he's coming out tomorrow,
You can please play it.
as you're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in AZ1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app. Unfortunately, Ninkovich was cut from ESPN, and here's his goodbye.
We love you, Ninko. Thank you for all the laughs.
Thank you so much. Had a great time the last 2 years. Built a lot of great relationships. Greeny, you're the best in the business. Listen, I've learned from some of the best in football and in media, and it's not a coincidence. It's hard work, but it's also talent, and you're an epitome of pure talent. So have a great one. Yeah.
You know something? I usually don't come to work dressed like this because I'm a businessman. I'm a businessman.
So, a couple things here before we get to the lines. One, Ninkovich, I'm sure the producer's like, hey, you got to rap, you got to rap, you got to rap, you got to rap, you got to hard out on TV. That's what they'll do on TV. They do it sometimes on postgame. You try to get the last words out, they're like, all right, 5, 4, 3, you better get it out or just shut the hell up or you will get cut off like Ninkovich.
Sam Lubman in my ear. They do it on radio, too. I try not to cut people off here on the station, but there's some times where I've had to just hit the little button, cut you guys off.
Dude, by the way, Lubman at the Santa Clara Hilton, he was living his best life.
Oh, are you kidding me? I have the Lubman laugh somewhere in there. Johnny will find it.
Lubman, where you at? Oh, he's in the hotel room putting some more gel
Well, we
in
were
his
just
hair.
off air for 2 minutes. Where are you?
We don't know. We don't know where you. What were you doing? Talking to Guru or something?
Yeah, it was like the one time I turn around and then everything falls apart. You guys can't handle 1 minute without me.
The Rob Ninkovich clip, though, Stephen A. The visuals are obviously way better, too. But the enthusiasm cutting to Stephen A. after he just got let go. I don't know what got let go. Part of the layoff packages, I'm sure, with ESPN. But my God, it was just chef's kiss. That's what ESPN's doing now these days, man. They've kind of fallen pretty low the last few years.
No doubt.
As far as that goes.
No doubt about it.